So insurance prices could get better here coming up in the next 12 months. When are the insurance companies going to lower their rates or stabilize to where they're not raising the rates? If you've watched several of my other videos, they've been on this channel, feel free to check them out. We talk about the different companies that have planned rate increases. Some of these companies are showing a 20 to 40%, even 50+% increases on their premiums. I actually just had a few customers get raised 120%. So there are different scenarios. Keep in mind, they didn't have any changes. No credit change, no location change, no accidents, no tickets, their home, their auto, all of it. Some of these companies are just trying to catch up and be back into profitability so that they can move forward and have an insurance company that doesn't go under. That being said, there are a lot more changes that we're going to see probably in the next 6 months. I would say starting into 2025, we're still going to see some increases. We're going to see your progressive companies, which honestly are my favorite ones as far as increases go, anywhere from 2 to maybe 12%. I'd probably say 2 to 4%. That's doable. I don't care. You can raise me 4%. That's inflation, right? So I'm okay with that. You're going to see your larger box companies like State Farm, Liberty Mutual, maybe Nationwide. They're a 50-50. They might not go up that much. You're looking at maybe Travelers, they're a 50-50 as well. You're looking at Allstate, they're 20%. Like, you're seeing that, you've seen that, and I got a feeling they're going to do it again. I mean, look at the reports. State Farm just improved. They got better in the last quarter, but I think they lost $4 billion in underwriting losses. Now, that's not their profitability. That's the claims that are coming in, right? So it went from, I think, $7 billion, if I'm not mistaken, or $8 billion last year. I got a video on the channel that goes over that. They lost so much last year that it was ridiculous. And then they didn't raise their rates that much. And now we're starting to see the spikes happen, right? Same thing with Allstate. Allstate was actually forward with everything and said, we're going up. Like, we're changing the coverage plan. We're going up on price. Just know that. But they already did most of that. So they're just high right now in most states, right? So they're expensive, but all these other companies are starting to creep up to be expensive as well. It is not a fun time to be an agent, to be honest with you. It's a little bit tougher unless you have what I call independents. So there's independent agents that work with a ton of different companies, and that's what this channel is based around, is mostly the people that I work with are independent agents. That's not to say, like in Arizona, I think Allstate's doing really good, and in certain states, like certain major box companies are competitive. So I work with a couple of them as well. But in general, we've seen a lot of people lean towards that independent agent because they work with the Progressive, they work with the Nationwide. Some of them work with Allstate. Ours actually does. You have the Liberty Mutual, which is a Safeco insurance. You have different companies that one agent can shop all of them with, and when one goes crazy, they can shift you over to the other. The goal is not to shift as much as possible. Honestly, the goal is to keep the rate the same and never have you just pay the bill forever. And that's kind of like the beauty of the world. Unfortunately, none of the companies are doing that right now. So when are these prices going to change? Before I say that, this is one, my opinion, and two, if you are needing insurance before this and you're not happy with your current agent, I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can work with an independent agent. Not necessarily me, because I'm not licensed in every state. So if it's in a different state, I've already connected with other local independent agents that can shop you with multiple companies. So it's free to you, free to them. I actually don't even charge anyone right now at this moment. I haven't for the last couple of years, and I don't necessarily plan on it either. So this is just my way to help anyone I can. If I can help them and you guys get service, that's what it's for, right? If you're in a state we're in, that's where I benefit, right? If you're in one of the states that we're licensed in, then we might be able to help you out as well. That gives us business, and you get the benefit of having a great company. That being said, the time that I think that the prices are going to change is going into the second quarter of 2025. I have a feeling that if an insurance company has already raised their rates, they're probably going to stabilize by then. We're looking roughly May to June of 2025. I expect the rates to stabilize, and we shouldn't see any major increases after that. How do you come up with that? Partially, it's an educated guess. I've been doing this for 12 years. I make hundreds of videos on this channel that talk about this. I'm starting to see that slope stop to where the prices are skyrocketing. That's for the insurance company, they're going down in profit. and they're starting to become profitable again because states are starting to open up and say, wait a minute, we get that you're going to leave us, our state, and if you leave our state, there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of customers that are without insurance. It's going to open up the courts. We're going to have all these lawsuits, all of these things. So they're starting to allow insurance companies to put in predictive models, which have been used in a lot of different states, that allows them to predict the chances of losses, the risks that they have. For states like California, that allows them to predict the number of wildfires that are going to happen. For states like Texas, it allows them to predict the number of weather-related claims, whether it's freezing rain or floods. For states like Florida, it's hurricanes. These predictive models, even though they have been wrong, that's part of the reason that we're seeing these increases. Some of these states have had those models wrong, but the more often they check these models, the more accurate they become. It's called the law of large numbers, and that's actually an industry term to where if you have hundreds of thousands of people you insure, you can pinpoint within a few dollars, maybe $100 we'll say, what the price is going to be for an insurance policy, because you know the average risk. Unless something major like a tropical storm, like a hurricane, like a flood comes in and disrupts all of that. That's what happened the last couple of years, plus inflation. The more often that we see that happen, the more predictive it can get, right? So right now we're seeing those predictive models up that premium because it's like, oh wow, we just had a spike. That's like playing a roulette wheel and all of a sudden you lost 10 in a row. There's a chance you could lose 11 in a row. There's a chance you could lose 15 times in a row. Or there's a chance that it resets every time you roll that ball. You can't tell it like roulette, right? It's kind of fun. Although $10 is probably enough to bet for me because it's a losing game, right? It's just fun to win. You've got that scenario to where these predictive models are getting smarter and getting better to where these premiums are going to be where they need to be. The downfall for some of you who have come across this channel is your rates have not gone up yet. That means in the next 3 to 5 months, some of your rates are going to go up 10 to 15 to 30%. Again, there's a link in the description below if you're not happy with the agent and you want to shop around. But for others of you, your rate's going to stay the same, so you shouldn't have those changes for those that have already gone through the major spike. Mine went up $1,000 this year. If it goes up 1,000 again, I'm going to lose my mind. But I don't like it and I'm not happy with it, but I know the company that I'm with has been ahead of the trend, right? So they're saying, okay, we get that this is going to change, and if we don't change these scenarios, then we can't offer the same level of service and product that we have. So they've already gone up there. They know that's where they're going to be stable. Other companies like Progressive are slowly moving up to that spot, but it doesn't hurt because it feels like then inflation, where the rate increase is going up 10%, not as big of a deal as 35+%. So you're seeing those changes. Rates should come down 2025, going into 2026. If they're not by 2026, I'm snapping this keyboard in half and I might as well. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to make more videos for you that will help you find the companies that aren't doing it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you think it's going to be earlier than that quarter, second quarter of next year, or do you think it's going to be later than that time? Hopefully this was helpful. If you are looking for different companies, I'm going to try to find the video where I did go over the top 10 insurance companies that will help you find the companies that are competitive right now. Otherwise, if you're just looking for discounts to stay with your current agent, by all means, there's a discount video here that will be helpful. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.